أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين وحجة رب العالمين، المنتجب في الميثاق، المصطفى في الضلال، المطهر من كل آفة، البريء من كل عيب، المؤمل للنجاة، المرتجى للشفاعة، المفوض إليه دين الله. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة، وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا يا رب الحسين. بحق الحسين اشف صدر الحسين بظهور الحجة. قال سيدنا ومولانا سيد الكونين الحبيب المصطفى محمد المهدي من ولدي، اسمه اسمي وكنيته كنيتي، أشبه الناس بي خلقا وخلقا، تكون به غيبة وحيرة تظل فيها الأمم، ثم يقبل كالشهاب الثاقب يملأها عدلا وقسطا، كما ملئت جورا وظلما. For the history of appearance of Imam صاحب العصر والزمان، أرواحنا وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء. loud صلوات. اللهم صل على 1183 years have passed since صاحب العصر والزمان الحجة ابن الحسن has gone into the major occultation, غيبة الكبرى. If you look at the world today, you find that we live in a world that is corrupted, that is filled with crimes, that is filled with injustice, and we strive for the Imam to reappear. If you look at this topic, the topic of Savior, the one that comes, that fills the earth with justice, harmony, and fills the earth with beauty. You find every religion comes with their own perspective, their own ideologies. For example, when it comes to the Abrahamic religions, Christianity, the Christians believe of the second coming of Jesus, that one day Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus son of Maryam, will come to fill the world with justice. After this world is filled with injustice and tyranny and oppression. When it comes to the Jews, they have their own ideologies. They believe that one of the sons of the Israelites comes and fills the earth. Again, the same script is repeated, that he comes and he fills the earth with justice and fills the earth with what is harmony, and all that is corrupt will fade away, will vanish. And when it comes to our religion, the religion of Islam, we have our own ideology. We believe that a day comes that the Imam, Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman, will appear. Every birthday of the Imam we celebrate, we gather, we remember the Imam of our time. There are many differences between our Imam and other Imams. One is that our Imam is our Imam. He's Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman. We speak about Imam al-Hussein and how people were loyal to him and how others betrayed him. But that is part of history. We speak about Imam Zain al-Abidin, Imam al-Kadhim, Imam al-Sadiq, and so on and so forth. But when we speak about this Imam, there's a difference. Why? Because this Imam is the Imam of our time. He's the awaited Imam. He's the Imam that we strive to be one of his companions. If you look into the hadith, and if you look into the categories that how the chronicle of Imams has been divided into, you can see that it's been divided into four. The first, his biography, his birth, knowing of his parents, knowing where was he born, and so on and so forth. That is the first category. That is one for itself. The second one, we speak about alamat al-dhuhur, the signs of reappearance. The signs of reappearance that every day today, the world of fitan, every now and then you find people coming out and saying that either they are the Yamani or the Hassani, or he is one of the deputies of the Imam. Or they come and they tell you that this year might be the year that the Imam appears, or might be next year or the year after. So the second one is alamatul dhuhur, the reappearance signs. The more you know about it, the more chance you have in front of these groups of people that take you to the wrong path, that sets you astray. There is the other one, that is the role and the responsibilities of the Imam himself. Imam knows his role. Imam knows his responsibility. He doesn't need to be reminded. We don't have to come and tell the Imam, this is what you have to do. When the time comes for him to reappear, he will reappear. When it's the time for him to come and raise the sword and fight the enemy, he knows he has to do that. And that is one part of the chronicle of the Imam. The one that I want to focus tonight on is this one. The roles and the responsibilities, the roles and the responsibilities of the Shia, of the followers of the Imam, in the time of the major occultation, Ghaybatul Kubra. You know, there are many roles and responsibilities that are bestowed on each and every one of us. We cannot be thinking that only my role and my responsibility is to put my right hand on my head and supplicate and recite dua al-faraj, and that is it. This is part of it, a small percentage of it. But there are other things that apply to this. The roles and responsibilities of the Shia, the followers of the Imam, in the time of the major occultation, there are many. One of them is being that the role and the responsibility of every one of us is this. First, that we have to know that we live in a very difficult time. We don't see the Imam. There is a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam where he says, the best of my ummah is the ummah that comes in the end of the time. And the Prophet was sitting in the mosque where he said, where are my brothers? Ayna akhwani? The Prophet says in this hadith. The companions were sitting around the Prophet. They said, we are your brothers. He said, no, not you. My brothers are the ones who are in the end of the time and they are waiting for the Imam of their time to reappear. The Prophet calls us his brothers. That's one. Then the Prophet continues where he says, they are the best of the ummah. Why? Because their belief comes from ink on piece of papers. Did we see any of the Imams? No. Did we see any of the prophets? No. We believe in God. We believe in prophethood, in imamah, because of some ink on piece of paper. And the Prophet says that. Because of some ink on piece of paper, they believe in the Imam. They believe in the Prophet. So know your worth. There's a hadith of Imam Ali ibn al-Husayn Zayn al-Abidin alayhi afdal salati was salam, where he says, Al-muntadhiruna li-dhuhurihi afdalu ahli kulli zaman. That's us, waiting for the Imam to reappear. Because we live in a difficult time. You can't go sit next to your Imam and ask him questions in jurisprudence, in ethics, in theology, and so on and so forth. Your Imam is not here to be asked questions. We recite dua and nutbah every Friday, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten his appearance. And we recite أين الطالب بدم المقتول بكربلاء. We recite that for the Imam to reappear. But we don't see the Imam. That is why you find Imam Zayn al-Abidin says that the best of the people are the ones that wait for his reappearance. So, what are our roles and responsibilities? Number one is educating ourselves when it comes to Imam al-Hujjah. And that is itself categorized in many parts. Ma'rifatul Imam, knowing the identity of the Imam. The identity of the Imam. If you ask today our youngsters, the youth, about 5 players in Barcelona, they tell you the first and last name, where they're born, who the parents are, you know, all of that. But if you ask them about Imam al-Hujjah, just some simple questions, you see them struggling, unfortunately. Ma'rifatul Imam. We don't know our Imam. We don't know who our Imam is, yet we want to be one of the 313 elites, one of the 313 generals that Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib says about them. I know their names, the names of the 313 elites, and I know where they come from. On top of that, the Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi afdal salati was salam says, كَأَنَّ قُلُوبَهُمْ زُبَرَ الْحَدِيدِ. That applies to us if we don't have any education when it comes to our Imam. We cannot be one of these people. كَأَنَّ قُلُوبَهُمْ زُبَرَ الْحَدِيدِ. That means that their hearts, the companions of the Imam alayhi afdal salati was salam, is like iron. It's like iron. What else? لا يشوبها شك في ذات الله. No doubt comes to their hearts when it comes to believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet, we have youth today from our communities going to the right and left side, going astray and becoming atheists. From our own communities, our own homelands, going what? Astray. أشد من الحجر. When it comes to the companions of the Imam, لو حملوا على الجبال لأزالوها. Willpower of these companions is that powerful. When they come to the mountains, they can move the mountains right and left with that willpower. هم أطوعوا له من الأمة لسيدها كالمصابيح. What is that? They sit in front of the Imam like a servant, and they serve the Imam. كالأمة. Serving the Imam alayhi afdal salati wassalam. Number one is ma'rifatul Imam, knowing the Imam. Then you can be the servant of the Imam. The basic biographies of the Imam alayhi afdal salati wassalam. That is the first one, knowing the Imam, ma'rifatul Imam. Then they believe that the Imam exists today. بوجوده. The Imam is here, today is here. We believe that. The other sects of Islam, they say yes, a person will come and he will fill the earth with justice, harmony, but he's not born yet. But we believe, as the Shia 12ers, we believe that the Imam is born and he's alive, and 1,187 years has passed since his birthday, and we believe that. And we believe in his maqamat, in his blessings, in his powers that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed on him. And of course, we believe in his ma'arifeh. We believe in the Imam alayhi afdalu salatu wasalam, to the extent if tomorrow someone comes to you and gives you this wrong hadith. Because today, you know, other people, they're working very hard to take you to the other path. to take you to the false Yamani, false Hassani, because there are people, unfortunately, individuals that are not educated. As soon as they hear Yamani, oh, they run after the person. As soon as they hear the name Hassani, they run after the person. But they don't know that this person is a false individual. He's just coming out to get some power or some wealth from them. The other one is this: supplication and action. Not just supplication. Because sometimes the heart says something, but the tongue is saying something else. The tongue says, Allahumma ajjil waliyka al-faraj. But the heart is saying something definitely different. It's saying, no, I don't want him to come. The tongue and the heart, they have to be aligned. They have to be together. That means what? They have to be sincere in their action and supplication. When it comes to action, we love in the community to point fingers. We always say he's part of the problem. She's part of the problem. When we never say I'm part of the problem. I have to change before I ask others to change. We never say that because we think that I'm complete, I'm infallible. This is some of the beliefs of some of the Shia, unfortunately. That I'm infallible, I'm sinless, I have no problems. Others are the ones who are at fault. This is where it comes in. Supplication and action. If I have any fault, I have to reform myself. I have to amend it. I have to change to be clear, to be cleansed. When the Imam comes, he says, now come to me. You are worthy to be one of my soldiers. ادعوا لي بالفرج ففرجي فرجكم وفرجكم فرجي. The Imam says that supplicate for me to reappear, that with my reappearance this is for you and for me, because he wants to also reappear. He wants to come to us. And then the one that is very important, anticipating the reappearance of the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. توقعوا الظهور صباحا ومساء. If someone is waiting for a guest to come, the closer they get to the time for that guest to come, the more anxious they become. They go to the door, they open the door, they close the door. They want that person to arrive. Yet we say, Allahumma ajjil waliyka al-faraj, but we're not waiting. We're not like a person who is really, truly waiting, anticipating the faraj of the Imam. Alayhi salatu wassalam. The last one before I conclude is this, and this is very important: establishing a relationship with our Imam. How many of us sits down once a week and speaks with his Imam? Speak with your Imam. How many of us comes and sits down once a month and writes a letter to the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam? Establish that relationship. Get to know him and also talk to him. And this is needed for every one of us, not just the one who lives in a war-torn country because he's in oppression. Because he's in oppression and he's under the tyrants, he says, I want the Imam to come. But us who we live in a comfortable environment, we live in comfort, we don't want the Imam to come and we don't have that relationship. So this is very important, to establish a relationship with the Imam عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج، اللهم عجل فرجه، سهل مخرجه، اللهم اجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه يا رب العالمين. الفاتحة قبلها الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.